Internet, welcome to Damn Designs Week. Starting our video a little different. Normally you don't see my my fancy mug at the start of the videos, but I recorded all these videos and didn't realize Damn Designs is doing a pre-order and dropping some stuff in their shop depending on the day, July 4th. So it's either tomorrow, today, or yesterday, depending on which video you're watching. I'm just going to upload the same intro to the next couple videos. But yeah, check out Damn Designs. They've got some cool stuff dropping. They're dropping some Zirk, some tungsten, some unnamed tungsten, which since it's unnamed, I would assume it's a new design. I think there's also going to be a Sanctity XS in tungsten, which we'll see at some point this week. Well, I don't have it in tungsten, I have it in stainless steel, but I imagine in tungsten would be awesome. So definitely worth checking out. So definitely get yourself over to Damn Designs, check out the stuff they got, and yeah, let's get on with the show. All right, Internet, let's keep this thing going. It's a pause for me. It's a whole new video for you. It's a new day. Happy 4th of July. So that's all we got left. Gets a little cloudy towards the bottom, but it's an unfiltered, so that's all right. And don't be scared of the stuff in the beer. Like if you see that little bits of stuff in it, this is just the proteins and other stuff that are in there. It's good. You won't feel it, and it adds some different character to the taste. So check it out. What are we looking at today, though, Internet? Now we're starting to get up there. As much as honestly, this one, you know, especially when I get sent things to review, I do want to be honest with you, but I also don't like saying anything negative. I like to be a positive kind of guy. This one I can take or leave. I think it's for some people. But this one feels pretty nice. This is one worth pursuing, especially if you're into the whole Damn Designs scene. This is one I think you got to have. But this one, now we're starting to turn our game up. And I'll be honest, I'd seen this design, and it's not that I wasn't sold on it, but there was something about it where it didn't feel to me like it looked different enough from this. And that is the Sanctity. Dun, 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 dun. So this is the mini Sanctity. It's not the full-size one. But let me tell you, Internet, I was wrong. I mean, I didn't go out there and put it on the internet saying, these look the same. Just, you know, it's a personal thing in my mind. Let's just weigh it. Because this is a solid little piece. Right, 73 grams. Now, size-wise, we're pretty close to this one, right? If we put them on top of each other, right? I mean, they're almost identical in terms of like profile and size, but this one is almost twice the weight. And let me tell you, Internet, we've got thicker sides. Basically, it kind of takes everything and just like swells it out. Like if you, I don't know, you put this in a balloon and then pumped more stuff into it, so it just like swells right out. But it feels so different. And then let's also take a look. Everything's been chunked out, so when we look at the buttons, right, again, look, they're making buttons that are specific. Ooh, what is that? A little vibration made me drop my button. But yeah, different button, a little chunkier of a button, you know, because it's not hollow underneath. Put that button back on there. Same bearing, and comes with an extra bearing, right? All these came with an extra bearing. I'm assuming that they would from Damn Designs. Now this is interesting. I cleaned all the bearings out, but in this spinner, this 8-ball bearing actually feels surprisingly smooth. There's a little bit of feedback. I should talk about their bearings a little bit. I guess we'll talk about it on Saturday as well. But the feedback in the bearing is almost non-existent for being kind of an 8-ball hybrid ceramic. It's really nice and smooth, and yeah, it got this guy got almost 7 minutes, 6 minutes and 47 if memory serves, right in that range though. But this is an excellent little spinner. Now this is more for me and my style. This is that mini form factor, but because of that weight and because the arms are actually out there pretty good, doesn't really feel like it, right? We've got an excellent little nook in here that's a little more pronounced. If you look at the nook in here, right, this just sweeps in and then sweeps out. So it's plenty for your finger to catch, but you'll notice there's actually like a defined little finger catch that really works. That little extra bit of a swell there really lets you flick. And that's where your finger's gonna get almost every time. So if you're like a flicker, same thing though, if you're a puller, when I'm pulling, I usually try to stop it with 2 fingers, right? This is my preferred pull these days. And if I can catch the point of the arm in between my 2 fingers, if I don't, I can adjust slightly to catch it, but really pulls well, Internet. This one is nice, this one is special for a mini. Now this one is in stock. This one goes for 50 bucks. And again, we've got the same sort of attention to detail in terms of the machining is excellent. No blemishes anywhere on these things. So whatever they're doing over at Damn Designs, their QC or their machining, whatever they're doing is significant, is off the chain. Because I have yet to see, I've never heard anybody say like, I got this Damn Designs and the finish was crap. Things you've never heard said. I've never heard that said. So whatever they're doing, again, their QC, their quality control, and my vibrating camera. But again, good long spin, good heft, small package, so it just takes what's in there and just swells it out. So it really feels nice in hand. And again, balance is, again, I like to kind of get away from this, but let's just look at the balance here. Right, see how slow that moves? Balance is spot on. If I get it like this, let's get on my thumb and see if I can get my hand real steady for you. We're in 60 frames per second, so you can see there's no vibration in the spinner, just the little shaking you see is in my hand. And I really appreciate that these days, like I'm pretty sensitive to that stuff with as much spinners as I've spun, and having a spinner off balance just ruins it for me. You know, sometimes that kind of feeling, especially if it's intentional, can kind of feel nice, but there's just something about it that I just don't appreciate. I like a bearing with feedback, I don't like a spinner off balance. And most people I would say probably don't as well. It's not like I'm in the minority of people that want a balanced spinner, but there's something to be said about a spinner intentionally off balance, kind of giving you that shake. But you can't really do that without it just essentially being gimmicky, but this is so smooth, look at it. I can't really think of a fault in this one. You know, I didn't really have much of a fault to say. I mean, again, I gave that one a little bit, but this one I can't, even less so than this. It just takes this design and puts it, I think, it's an evolution of the design in the right direction, right? The changes that were made make sense. It swells everything out. It gives you a little bit more grip. It gives you a little bit more heft. It gives you a little more weight, so it's a little bit better in spin time. It's even less of an issue, not like these are hot spots, right? Like this toes the line of like getting to be about as sharp as you can get, but still being perfectly 100% comfortable, like no hot spotty, shaky camera. I wonder when my camera's doing that. But this one, like even less, like everything's just excellently rounded and smoothed and well done, Damn Designs. This impressed me. This was, if I'd lined all of these up, Friday again is going to be the shocker. But short of that, this is the one that I think I liked more than I would have expected to like. This one I probably liked a little less than I thought I would. But again, it's mainly because of the fidgetability. It's not quite where I want it to be. This one is pretty much exactly what I thought it would be. Maybe a little bit better, but this one is more than what I thought it would be. I imagine that these two would feel pretty similar, and this one just has a little bit of something special, right? You know, if you watch anything with that Simon Cowell, right, the X Factor he calls it, right? It's just got a little bit of something. This has that. This has that character. This has that life to it. So it's funny to say that about a spinner. Maybe we can take a little side tangent. You know, in my personal circles in IRL, in real life, you know, it's funny when I mention like I do spinner reviews, it's almost kind of hard to, I don't want to say like defend and justify, but sometimes it's hard to say like, what is there to say about it? It spins, right? Like, but those of us that know, there's a certain feeling, right? To every spinner has its own character, and some are, you know, a little bit more generic, and some have a life of their own, and this is one that has a little bit of character. So I appreciate this guy. This guy, we will give it this guy earns a 2 thumbs up. It manages to pack a full spinner feel into a micro spinner, and I dig that, without it being just overly obtuse and cumbersome. Oh, that was a good line. A full spinner feel in a micro package without being too obtuse or cumbersome. Put that on the package, y'all. With that, what else do we have to say? Let's just end it there. See if I can get a nice solid hole when I say kisses.